back to another Insider. And this week we're going to talk about something that, in my view, should be in everyone's website, and that is the terms and conditions and your frequently asked questions. Why is this so important, and why should we include that, and what should we include in any of these parts or documents within our businesses? So come with me, let's talk frequently asked questions and terms and conditions. So let's talk about terms and conditions and frequently asked questions. These are two totally different things, but they suit a purpose and they end up being connected to each other in a very special way, as I would say it, because both of them show transparency from your business. Both of them show that you are very confident about what you do, and you are very happy to let your clients know about all the aspects of engaging with your business, and all of them are an assurance for clients and a protection for you. Let's start with the terms and conditions. So the terms and conditions set the rules of engagement with your business. So I believe that everyone should have terms and conditions. If you are dealing with clients, if you are providing a service, you have to have terms and conditions for your business, because there you set up all the rules of engagement with your business. You tell your clients how you quote for things, how you price your things, how do you deal, for example, with late payments, how do you deal with any surcharges that may rise, alterations to your project, for example, postage fees, all those sorts of issues, including obviously the confidentiality issue. We all know that under our code of ethics, if you are in Australia, would be AUSIT Code of Practice and Code of Ethics. We know that according to our code of ethics, we do have to be under a privacy clause, and our work should always remain private. We shall not disclose any content of our work to a third party. We know that. Any translator knows that. Even if you are starting now, I believe you are told that when you are doing your courses. I know I did. So that's something that it's quite set up, and we all know. However, clients want that reassurance. They want to be sure that in no possible way their information, their personal information, the content of the documents, because let's face it, we may deal with very, very sensitive documents. We may be dealing with people's birth certificates, death certificates, wills, contracts, important contracts. For example, in my case, I already translated 2 company constitutions for 2 companies. So these are very sensitive documents that, of course, clients want them to be private. I believe all documents, not just that. Any document, it's not your call, it's not your business to disclose it, unless, of course, there is a law event, a lawsuit or something, and you are required by law to show whatever you have done. Yes, then it's a totally different thing. But even that should be on your terms and conditions, so the client knows it's everything private, unless someone above you, which is the law, requires you to disclose. And of course you will disclose to, obviously, to the government, to the jurisdiction that is requiring it. You're not just gonna disclose it to someone that comes to you and says, oh well, you are required by law. Doesn't work like that. So that is very important. You have that. It also shows transparency and clarity because you set out all the rules, you have everything there, and then the clients know exactly what you are about. For example, one of the things that I always put in my terms and conditions, and I think it's very important to set that out, is that, for example, when I do the rules for certified translation, because, and I have already done a video about this, there is different rules for certified translation in for different countries. And in my particular case, the rules that apply for certified translation in Australia, for those of for my colleagues who work with LOTE, which is language other than English, into English, and they work with Australian authorities and Australian companies, they have a set of rules. Whilst if you are working for the Portuguese government, like my case, the rules for certified translation are totally different. And in that particular case, it's not really the translation that is going to be certified, but my signature that is going to be recognized by the consulate. And that's how it works. So if you were in Portugal, it's the signature of the translator that is going to be recognized in the notary. So you need to know all of these things, and you also need to know that a copy of the original is going to be printed at the verse of the page, so the client knows everything from the start. And then when the work is done, they cannot say they did not know, because it's there. It's there. You set it out. So it's a protection for yourself because all your rules are there. You have all the rules of engagement. You have everything that you need your clients to know. It's a reassurance for them that this is how it is. The same way that you can say, look, under my terms and conditions, this is what should have happened. They can come to you and say, well, under your terms and conditions, this is what should have happened. So I would say it works both ways. It's a document that it can be client or used by both parties because it's there for both parties, I would say. Now, the importance of the frequently asked questions. And you may say a lot of people don't even go and look at those pages, but you would be surprised that some actually do. And if you go and if you have that, although people may not look, or you may think no one checks, some may do check and see what's in there, because maybe the questions that they have may be answered there. So it provides important information about your business. Questions, for example, you can gather a few questions that you have actually been asked and answer them in that page. You can add a few ones that you know are really pertinent questions that may rise to clients that really are always out there. And again, it just adds to that clarity. It just adds to that transparency because you are telling clients, you are answering all the questions, you're telling them, look, this is what happens. For example, I have a few questions regarding the certified translation because I know there is a lot of questions that come from that service. People sometimes do not know exactly how it works. Sometimes people come to me and say that they already have a translation, if I can just certify it, which I cannot. I cannot legally, I cannot certify a translation that I did not do myself. And people have all these questions, and sometimes it may look like silly questions for you, but it may not be silly at all for someone else. And you need to accommodate also all sorts of questions and all sorts of inquiries because you don't know people's personal circumstances, and sometimes under stress, or if you are going through a difficult situation, sometimes you may have these type of questions that others would consider silly. I don't consider any question silly. Every single time a client comes to me with a question, I answer it to the best of my abilities, because I think every question is a good question, and I'm always happy to answer my clients. However, anytime I get one of these questions, I always add it to my frequently asked questions, because it just adds up to the service that you provide. You have that clarity, you have that information. So having a website, and I've said that since I've started, it's one of the most important things for your business. It sets you apart from just being that freelancer for the extra cash. That's what most people think. um, I said that many times as well. I'm not depreciating freelancers or the work of freelancers, because I know how hard they work, and indeed they're running a business. The problem is, um, in the market, they are devalued because they are seen as someone that is not qualified, is not professional, etc., etc. They just seen as someone that is there for an extra cash. That's why people always push them down, push the prices down, and they are poorly treated. You need to treat yourself as a business person, and having a website is part of that. I believe that. I strongly believe that. I tell that to my mentees. I have that in my courses, because I think it is the way that we should run our business if you want to be taken seriously in this industry. But if you have a website, you really need to know what to put in your website. And terms and conditions, frequently asked questions, a price list, and your services, it's part of that. I wouldn't make a website if I did not have these four essential parts. Yes, you can have your about page, which I think is very important. It tells you something. It shows who you are and what your business is all about. Yes, I think that's important. But you should have your price list. Again, transparency. You should have your services, where you show your clients what services you offer and how you quote for those services. And then you have to have your terms and conditions. You have to have your frequently asked questions, so your clients know everything about your business. If they want, they can go into your website and know every single aspect of your business before they even engage with you. And that's showing confidence in your business, showing confidence in your quality, and showing your clients, look, I'm ready to help you. Whatever you need from me, I'm ready to help you. This is what I do. This is what you can ask me. But if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask me. That is what you should do. And this showing that you are really serious about your business, that you are professional, and that you are ready to tackle any challenge that come your way. So this is why I believe these two pages are seriously essential in your website. For today, I hope you really liked this video today about all these two very important pages on your website. Um, and I truly hope that this helps you understand the importance, for example, the importance of having a website, and the importance of having these terms and conditions. Even if you have, and I did not mention during the video, but your terms and conditions, you should have that document in a PDF, and every single quote that you send out, you should send your terms and conditions attached as well, and require the client to approve both. That's what I do, and that really and actually I do believe clients appreciate that, because they see that the terms and conditions are there, that is there, and it should be a balanced document. I don't think that it should be a document that is just to protect you and has nothing for the client. It should be a balanced document, and it should be something that the client sees as a way of engaging with a proper business. And obviously they wouldn't mind. I never had a complaint about sending out my terms and conditions. My clients approve it, and they actually know it. Recently I even had one client that had a question after reading my terms and conditions, and I happily actually add that question on my frequently asked questions, and I altered my terms and conditions to include that little clarification. So you can see how important this is and how clients actually value it. If you have any suggestion of anything else that you would like me to talk about in this Translator Insider, please leave a comment below and suggest, and I'll be very happy to accommodate it. Also, uh, leave a comment, tell me your opinion. Do you have a terms and conditions? Do you have a frequently asked questions? Or more importantly, when you visit a website, do you actually visit the frequently asked questions? Do you read the terms and conditions of the companies that you engaged with? Tell me, what do you usually do? And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching and see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.